So boom! Bomboclat! Guys, enough shenanigans, okay? So picture this. It's summertime, you're on a walk, in the car, or on the plane. You're on your way to or from the best, most life-changing vacation of your life. The wind is blowing in your hair, you feel so carefree, and the sunset or sunrise is out. Everything is perfect, except it's not. Suddenly, you realize the wind and your carefree attitude mean nothing because you're missing the most crucial, most important part of romanticizing your summer. And that would be the perfect summer playlist. Lucky for you, you found this video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Nia TV, and here are some song ideas to add to your summer playlist. First of all, I want to say that these songs are from my actual summer playlist, and they're in no particular order because I always shuffle my playlists, so this could be very random. Just believe me when I say all of these songs are so summer. Like, that's the only way to describe it. They're perfect for any moment in the summer, like when it's hot and you're in the car on the way to somewhere, on the way back, or if you're lying on the beach. You guys get the gist, okay? Now let's get started. Okay guys, so now you know I'm in my yapping position, so just be prepared. I also want to say a couple of these items that I'm going to be listing are just straight albums because, you know, the entire album needs to be on your playlist if you want to romanticize summer. And like I said, you can just shuffle it and it'll be no problem. That being said, the first album I want to list is Gemini Rights by Steve Lacy. So as you guys know, that album came out in like July of 2022, 2023, and that album has always been on my summer playlist. Every song is perfect. I'm a really big Steve Lacy fan, and I think that might be one of my favorite albums by him. So I may be a little bit biased, but I can say that songs like Sunshine, Helmet, and Bad Habit literally made my summer every single year since it came out. I also want to recommend Give You the World off that album. That song is one of my favorites, even though it's much slower in comparison to some of the other songs on the album. It's really good. Second is Lana Del Rey. I didn't list a specific album because obviously Lana Del Rey is like the epitome of summer. Whether you listen to Born to Die, Norman Rockwell, all of her songs are so perfect for specifically fall and summer. The entire Norman effing Rockwell album can just be on your summer playlist and you can shuffle it, especially like Venice, How to Disappear, California, Cinnamon Girl, Doing Time. Oh my gosh, also this is not on that album, but Dark But Just a Game, Tomorrow Never Came. Those are some of my favorites recently. I also love Sweet and the Grants, Black Bathing Suit, Thunder, Sweet Carolina, and obviously you have the classics like Summertime Sadness, Video Games, stuff like that. Okay, next song I want to recommend is Let Me Love You by Justin Bieber. Obviously guys, this is like a 2010s classic and it's so good. That song will always bring me back to like my childhood summertime, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh, speaking of a song that brings me back to a specific time period, Are You Bored Yet by Wallows and Clairo. Guys, that song reminds me of 2019. Matter of fact, I want to say any type of bedroom pop song that you find will remind me of like 2019, 2020, and just like summer childhood like happiness, you know what I mean? Like you just need to add it. Along those lines, I want to recommend Forever by Clairo. I also want to recommend North by Clairo. Next song is 7 by Taylor Swift. So I know many of you may not like Taylor Swift, or maybe you do. I don't really know what my audience is listening to because I don't primarily make music content, but the album that it comes off of, Folklore, was I think her last good album, and I think she should have just ended it there. I'm not even trying to be that person, but like, yeah, that entire album reminds me of summer, so if you like Taylor Swift, I would go ahead and add it, but specifically that song, Clean Air by Leve. I just listened to that album recently for the first time, even though I'm a big fan of Leve and just never got around to it. And that song just stuck out to me because it's not like any of her other works or like any of the other tracks on the album, but it's nice, you know what I mean? And it just reminds me of summer. Also, Falling Behind by Leve. That was like the song that got her to blow up, but I actually knew about her like a couple years before that. But that entire album, Everything I Know About Love, just reminds me of road trips because I always used to play it to college visits for my sister. Like when we visited Elon, that was a long drive, but that album got me through it. And same thing with when we visited Syracuse, and just being in the mountains and listening to her beautiful voice and just like all the instruments in the song, it's just perfect. Like that album reminds me of summer, but specifically Falling Behind is a really good song for summer because it's bossa nova. Call Me When You Get This by Corinne Bailey Rae. That's one of my favorites. Also, Put Your Records On. Even though it's kind of a basic choice, it's still a really good song for summer. Let me tell you guys this, nothing screams summer like reggae music. So you can just go ahead and add all the Bob Marley songs to your summer playlist. Is This Love is one of my favorites. Sun is Shining and Could You Be Loved. There's also that one song with Lauryn Hill. There's also this one artist that I found out about through TikTok. His name is Spawn Breezy. He has this song called If It's You, and it's so cute. I love that song so much, and it just reminds me of summer. It's perfect, and I just love finding out about new artists through TikTok, even though people are like, oh boo, like TikTok music this, TikTok music that. Okay, the app is literally a music note and it would be nothing without music, so let me find recommendations through there. And I haven't seen a lot of videos using his songs, so it's technically not that basic, but if you're using TikTok for the right reasons, you can find a lot of cool stuff on there. So I definitely recommend If It's You for your summer playlist. And nothing screams summer like 60s, 70s, and 80s music. Angel by Madonna. I found out about that one through TikTok as well. I mean, like, obviously everybody knows Madonna, but I wasn't really a fan of her because, like, you know, I just heard songs like a Virgin, and I just, like, it never really clicked with me. But TikTok has been introducing me to some new Madonna stuff, and I was like, wait, I didn't even know that she had that much range. In My Room by the Beach Boys. I've been getting into the Beach Boys a lot recently, but that song is just perfect for summer. Like, picture this, you're on the beach with a Wawa hoagie and a drink and some fruit. You're just out there tanning, reading a book, or going in the ocean, or you're just on the way to the beach, on the way back home from the beach, and the sun is setting, or you're just spending a summer morning taking it slow and you're in your room. The Beach Boys are literally perfect for summer. Speaking of the Beach Boys, God Only Knows is one of my favorite songs. That's actually how I found out about the Beach Boys, because if you guys don't know already, Mitski is one of my favorite artists, and since I was a mega fan of Mitski, I found like rare footage of her singing, and it was at her like college presentation or something, and like she was doing it with other students, so it wasn't only her, but she was singing God Only Knows, and I was like, what is this melody? And that's how I found out about the Beach Boys. And another summer song by the Beach Boys is The Warmth of the Sun. Obviously from the title, you guys can tell that this is gonna be perfect for summer. Another song I wanna recommend is Right Down the Line. Eyes Without a Face by Billy Idol. That's another good one. This song I found out about through TikTok, and it was technically made in like, I think the 2010s, but it sounds really 60s inspired. It's called Seabird by Innovations, and I really like that song. And I find that it's like a good song to cue after all the other 60s and 70s songs. So I think you guys should go give it a listen. One of my current favorite songs is Let's Do It Again by the Staple Singers. I found out about them through Apple Music actually. I will say, even though I love Apple Music because I don't have to listen to ads, and like I just feel like the layout looks so much better than Spotify, it's kind of hard to find new artists through Apple Music. I was looking for another song, and then that was the first song that popped up, even though I wasn't looking for it. But then I saw the cover and I was like, I need to just listen to this, and I'm so glad I did. Only Over You by Fleetwood Mac, Nowhere Man by the Beatles, Surrender by Suicide, Purple Rain by Prince, Someone Loves You, June Lodge, If I Could Rule This World, Alton Ellis, and by Phyllis Dillon, Perfidia. Don't Dream It's Over is also a good one. This wasn't created in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, but I want to say Ace of Base, The Sign is a good one. And another 80s song I really like is Everything She Wants by Wham. Wham is just so good, but especially that song. And Can't Go For That by Hall & Oates. Okay, kind of moving away from that section. Like I said, the rest of these are really random. A Cruel Affair by Biba Doobie. Matter of fact, I really recommend This Is How Tomorrow Went, the album that song is from, for summer. Using You by Mars Argo. Guys, that song, I was so mad when she took it off Apple Music. I was so mad when she cleared her entire section from Apple Music. So now I've literally just been listening to her on SoundCloud. But she put Using You back on streaming, so I think you guys should all go listen to that. It's perfect for summer. Losing You by Solange. You guys already know this is such a good song, and I've really been getting into Solange a lot this year. I also like Beltway by Solange. It's a much slower song, but I feel like it's good if you're on the way back from somewhere, or you're just like sitting outside and you want a song to really think to. Oh my gosh, Come Back to Me by Janet Jackson. That is one of my favorite songs. I feel like at the end of every really good day and you're on the car ride back, that is the song that automatically plays in my head. So obviously that song is gonna be perfect for summer. And You Stand the Rain by New Edition, because I feel like that song is also a really good follow-up to Janet Jackson's song. Love Like This, Faith Evans. Love Like This, SWV. Simple by Kali Uchis. Daggers by Kali Uchis. Matter of fact, I want to recommend the entire Sincerely album. It's so cohesive. Every song just reminds me of summer, and I feel like it's also like a really good song to just think to. Never Be Yours by Kali Uchis. Tyrant by Kali Uchis. Melting by Kali Uchis, and Love Between by Kali Uchis. That song, that last song specifically, is perfect for summer. Lose My Cool by Kali Uchis. Once More to See You by Mitski. Like I said, guys, she is my all-time favorite artist, so of course she's gonna be on here. Guys, this song, even though it is kind of sad, just listen to the lyrics real quick. In the rearview mirror, I saw the setting sun on your neck. Oh, like, immediately add that to your summer playlist. If you have something really deeply to think about this summer and the window is down and you just want to look out dramatically at the sunset like Tokyo Tony and you're thinking about somebody special, put that song on right now. Pink in the Night by Mitski. I just feel like it's perfect for summer. Blood Orange. Go look him up right now. Every song he does is perfect for summer. Some of my favorite songs right now are Bad Girls, You're Not Good Enough, Champagne Coast, Time Will Tell, Chosen, The Complete Knock, and Chewing Gum. The Neighborhood, once again another band, but just put them on your summer playlist, trust me. Time Machine by Willow, I like that song a lot. I don't really listen to her as much, but that song is perfect for summer. Beach House. I really love PPP, Space Song, Somewhere Tonight, Zebra, and that's why their name is Beach House, guys. Like, think about it, their songs are perfect for the beach and summer. Underneath the Stars by Mariah Carey. That's one of my favorites right now. Destiny by 07. Sade. Just go listen to any of her songs, they're perfect. Summer Forever by Addison Rae. I know I look crazy for listening to Addison Rae, who cannot sing, but I actually feel like her album was really well done, well produced, and she has a lot of good songs on there for summer. Just give that song a listen. It may not be your cup of tea, but you can't tell me that it doesn't remind you of summer. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have to have the best voice, but I think her production is really good, so go listen. Honey by Lenny Kravitz. Bodyguard by Beyonce. I love that song. I feel like she doesn't have a lot of songs like that. Two Most Wanted, Alligator Tears, Flamenco. Those are really good songs, and I feel like they're all good for summer. Thinking of You by Katy Perry. We all know this song, but it's perfect for spring and summer. One of Those Crazy Girls by Paramore. Julia by SZA. Guys, no one really listens to Z, her first project, and I would say it's not one of my favorites either, but there are some really good songs on there. And Julia, what if I said that that was top 5 SZA songs? Maybe even top 3. It is so good, and especially if you cue it right after Losing You by Solange, and also Everything Is Embarrassing by Sky Ferreira. They're perfect. Dreaming of You by Selena. Amor Prohibido by Selena. Until the End of Time by Justin Timberlake and Beyonce. Share My World by Mary J. Blige. Anything Marvin Gaye is perfect for summer. Like, I Love You Secretly, Distant Lover, I Want You. I Want You is one of my favorite songs. Anything by SWV. Literally the song Anything by SWV. But you can listen to Anything by SWV for summer. It's perfect. Good Days, SZA. Saturn, also by SZA. Anything Frank Ocean. How You Feel. You know you were my first time. A new feel. What's that one song? I will always love you. How I do. Glide by Mitski. That is one of my all-time favorite covers that she's done. Guys, just so you know, anything Mitski related that has ever occurred in my life has a backstory. I listened to the song when it first came out because it was for the movie After Yang. I liked her cover and I was like, wait, what is this a cover of? So I looked it up. There's this movie called All About Lily Shushu or Shosho. Not really sure, but that movie was traumatizing and I also didn't really understand it because it was fully in Japanese. But that entire album, Lily Shushu's album, go look it up on Apple Music or Spotify or wherever you listen to. It's actually really good. Like, that's the one thing I will say I liked about that movie. But yeah, so back to my story time. I was watching Kill Bill 1 and 2. A song from that movie that I was talking about, the one in Japanese, like was in Kill Bill. I think it was in the second movie. And I was like, guys, I just watched All About Lily Shushu, Shosho, whatever, because of the Mitski song. That's crazy that this is showing up in my life once again and it all relates back to Mitski. So boom, I watched After Yang because I was like, well, now I have to watch it because she's just everywhere. She's haunting me. So now I need to watch it. And that's my story. So back to the main point of the video. What Once Was by Hers. Sports by Beach Bunny. Guys, I was obsessed with Beach Bunny back in 2020 and 2019 because like I said, that's when I started finding out about like bedroom pop, indie, alternative rock. Like that's when I started getting into everything, okay? It reminds me of summer and fall and just like that feeling of going back to school. Mrs. Magic by Strawberry Guy. We all know this song. Better Than Me by Doja Cat. One of her most underrated songs off of Hot Pink. Addiction, also underrated. Talk Dirty, also underrated, but they all remind me of summer. Speaking of Doja Cat songs that remind me of summer, Woman, You Right, and I Don't Do Drugs. Motive by Ariana Grande, Off the Table, Love Language, 6:30. The Isley Brothers. Listen to anything by the Isley Brothers, like Voyage to Atlantis, Footsteps in the Dark, At Your Best, You Are Love, Always on My Mind by SWV, Freudian, that entire album by Daniel Caesar, Summer's Over by Drake, Amber and Love Songs by 311, Slow Love by Janet Jackson, Sweetener, that entire album by Ariana Grande, and Sugar Honey Iced Tea by Khalees. 35 minutes later, guys, we're at the end of this video. I hope you guys were able to find some really good recommendations for your summer playlist so that your summer is as aesthetically pleasing as a YouTube video. I hope you guys have a great summer and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye!